had a holly jolly Christmas. I hope everybody had that didn't watch Smackdown. Oh, what fun it is. Well, I hope everybody had a merry goddamn Christmas. I understand that we had somewhat of a on and off 2021. But, it's always good whenever, we stay together and enjoy stuff of what we call our families or who we have as a family or who we have left as a loved one. But besides that, let me do something that I don't love. Reviewing SmackDown and Raw. So, here it is. SmackDown, we had 12 days of Christmas. Of course, gauntlet match, because of course it's completely different because we correlated it into the holiday, so that means that it's special. We had the women's title match that opened the show, and it was 20 minutes of Toni Storm barely getting shit together with Charlotte Flair. And I'm not trying to lose faith. Look, Toni Storm, she could have done a lot more stuff. She should be a valet at this point because it's obvious that she's not that good in ring. She has a bare minimal to get cradle spot, a big boot. There was a botched spot over to the apron, especially doing the regular moves that Charlotte does with a crappy moonsault that looked like it barely even connects. She didn't get all of it, like my dad. But the match was sloppy. Match dragged. Barely anything to make me continue interested in this feud. If you guys are always going to give over TV matches for a chick that's obviously not ready to be pushed over to a title shot. And I can say that I'm guilty about this too, but it came into the high aspect of, well guys, they deserve to get pushed because they're hot and she has a big butt. She has the look of somebody that should be a babyface, a top babyface, but she obviously has the bare minimum to wrestle over, and she obviously doesn't have that much of a correlation with the crowd, because I think we overrate as much attractive women that we perceive over from NXT, like Shotzi, and now she's like irrelevant on TV, like they just pushed her heel and then nothing correlated over with her character. Same thing with Toni Storm. Tegan Nox is out. Xia Li got treated as a Mortal Kombat jobber, and she's not even on the Christmas episode, and she's not even pushed over in the storyline. So it's obvious they treat her more irrelevant. Over the four NXT women, one is out of a job. Three are up in obscurity already. That's not a good thing, WWE. And I can say all the shit about this chick is attractive, all because if you're attractive or not, yeah, you're profitable. But to the extent of how you are to get over, bro, you need to bring something into the ring. Toni Storm doesn't have anything that correlates to her having an identity in the ring. She does just the same wrestling moves. She wears black face paint on her face, and she just has a jiggly butt. That's cool and all, and she's a good looking chick, but that doesn't mean that she's gonna be perceived in a higher standard, especially if you're in a feud with the women's champion. Just stop pushing them over on TV. Push over some segments. Don't you dare make them play with food again, because the problem that we have here is trying to actually take these women seriously and give it a consistent motive to actually push these women. But we are so oversaturated with the women's revolution, and of course the bullshit that is the four horsewomen, that it gives the bare excuse for anybody fresh and new to actually do something that's worth us being interested. I don't even know where the hell Asuka is now. And Bianca Bella is, I guess, the closest we have to actually pushing up to somebody in the women's division other than Lynch, Banks, Bayley, and of course, Charlotte Flair. That's just been oversaturated around the card. Main eventing shows getting the lowest ratings. So that was just garbage. We even had Paul Heyman addressing the events of last week after getting Superman punched, going over Roman Reigns' history, and telling the Tribal Chief the truth will come next week. A week ago. And telling him that it's a difficult truth or not. I mean, it was averagely documented, and Paul Heyman's good to say. I just hope he has nothing to do with this feud. I hope he does this to like try to move up the ladder and become an authority figure, so we can actually get some ongoing plot. But I know WWE is not going to do that. They don't believe in overarching storytelling. Yeah, WWE still does storyline to the bare minimal to make it feel episodic, so it doesn't feel that interested in why they lose at least a sub amount of 100,000 people a week whenever nobody is interested, when you have nothing to come back over, and it just feels like over this episode they were just going with emotions. It's like, well, we'll have a title match involving the women, we'll have a gauntlet match like we always do every week, and we'll just have regular wrestling with very little fragmented parts of the show that correlates with next week's episode or what's going on, especially over 2022, because there's not much over to get anticipated about if The Rock's not going to be over on Mania. We have a pay-per-view literally called Day One, and just there's no other storylines happening over on both shows other than Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Sure, we had a cool documented history of Paul Heyman coming over, owner of ECW, failing to always push over on top, managing Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. But I hope they like exit out of it over to the extent of, you know, actually making the feud blossom. The women's title match was trash. I'm not gonna lie. Next we had the 12 Days of Christmas Gauntlet match, because it's the holidays. And then we had the Miracle on 34th Street a street fight tag team match in our main event. We also had like Xavier Wood. This is not a subtle image. We have Baron Corbin looking like he got nutted on. Yes, it was eggnog, but ew. First, it started with Mansoor getting eliminated over Angel Garza with a wing clipper. Then Eric just absolutely devastated Mansoor with a knee strike. And then Shanky came around doing the rip-off of the Wasteland after like brutalizing Garza. No, they call him Angel now. Then Shanky got eliminated by Ivar this time, that got pushed in. And then Sheamus came over, knocking him with axe handle. There was a shoulder tackle. Rich Harlan came ringside to cause a distraction and a broke kick over Sheamus to eliminate Ivar. He also eliminated Gulak with just a 5-second elimination. Back to chasing 24/7 title, Gulak. I don't know why they pushed you in other than fodder. Things didn't get serious until he wrestled Cesaro. That was actually selling over a rib injury that he suffered previously because he's feuding with Harlan and Sheamus. And it came over with European uppercut. There was a swing even though the ribs were happening, and then a distraction came that he came into a bro kick again, causing Cesaro to get eliminated. Then Ricochet came over and actually got to come up over a tornado DDT. There was a springboard moonsault that was high as shit. I'm not gonna lie. After Harlan got whipped out over trying to cause a distraction again, Ricochet came over the roll up. Then Ricochet actually eliminated Humberto next with the botched recoil. Then Jinder came in and got eliminated off Ricochet. Sami Zayn coming over some top rope mischief. There's a jumping Hurricane Rana for a dramatic near fall, and then there was a stupid exploder work rate. So this is like, and then a Helluva kick. So Sami Zayn wins his second gauntlet in under a year after eliminating Jeff Hardy to earn a shot against Roman Reigns, and then he earns a shot for the Intercontinental title for Nakamura and Boogs that were on ringside. I guess for day 1 or January 1. Thanks, Miz. Nice, absolutely nice, people. This match gotten slower, average, and then predictable. I mean, it wouldn't really change over much if Ricochet won it because, of course, they didn't want to push over babyface to babyface, even though they can't even do heel and babyface without making it feel like both of them gotta still look like they're over. So it doesn't really matter who even gets pushed or not. But average match, I wouldn't rewatch it. There was basic stuff that at least correlated with most of the feuds. At least Shanky came over, even though he's associated with Jinder Mahal. But he did his dumbass wasteland and he got eliminated in just another match after eliminating one half of the Viking Raiders. That's about it. Not really enticed. Sami Zayn, I think they gotta stop exaggerating him. But I know they gotta push him over in some extent. Thinks he's the only person that can actually talk while being a mid-carder. So I at least respect that. But there's better ways to correlate this other than just making another stupid gauntlet match that WWE been shoving up their ass since 2018. So I'm just getting dulled at this point because there's never any drama, there's never any penalty, and you just got a title shot. That's it. And that's the only way they push any extent for the gauntlet, and especially if you're getting pushed and you're in a gauntlet and you have to eliminate the other wrestlers, it's pretty predictable how that's gonna go. So, sorry if I'm just not that excited over this stupid ass Christmas episode. Especially when you're just of the new year that your pay-per-view's coming out and there's that bare minimum of hype. You don't even have Brock. He doesn't even have to be live over in the show. You just could have had him over an interview being like, what does Paul Heyman mean to you? Or what you thought your intentions was with your... They didn't want to push over any drama. If this was something to, like, extend any betrayal or something, because that would actually take time. That would actually take thought. And that would actually take, something to focus on. So next week, I'm more anticipated to watch next week on SmackDown because possibly Brock is making his appearance. So that was just a weak show. They just have like majority of your matches already be 60 minutes, and the rest had to be pushed over unfunny humor, advertisement for your King of the Ring still looking like a mid-carder screaming like his lungs came out. You could have capitalized off the laughing segment. Like, ha ha ha, shut up. No. Xavier Woods has no extent to make his character actually flourish. Because he's so much of a mark. He just gotta be like, I don't want to be like King Booker. Like, do something. So, we had our Miracle on 34th Street match. Involving McIntyre and the New Day and Madcap Moss and the Usos. Not even Corbin. Corbin was in this corner. Kind of odd. But the match was okay because for the earlier half it was just tag team stuff with the Usos and New Day. And then we had our clothesline, our spine buster, McIntyre pulling up his usual arsenal. Until they started tossing over presents. This was a street fight, so Xavier Woods took a steel chair from the stupid from the Santa's bag. Everything was going all right until I guess Madcap Moss went a bit too much on McIntyre, thinking that he had the upper hand, and then there was eggnog tossed on both of their heads, ending with a Claymore kick to Madcap Moss to win the match. Babyface ended up happy holidays. Go back and actually celebrate with your family and do not waste your time watching this Christmas episode. There's barely any memorable Christmas episodes from SmackDown other than that time Stephanie... No, I think that was Halloween. That was from like 2002. I think the best holiday episode you have to go to is like 2001 Monday Night Raw or something. I think that was when Mick Foley was Santa Claus, I think, for the first time. Until they kept rehashing that bullshit. This show was pretty weak, I'm not gonna lie. None of the matches were that memorable, especially when you had like a handful. And the bare minimal to build over to your pay-per-view. I get it's a holiday, you want to make it feel like, we just want to bring the excitement over to the fans, John. It's just, it just makes me feel like I could just... You just made the show felt like anybody could have went a day without actually watching an episode of SmackDown. That's what you guys made this feel like. You made this feel like this feels uneventful, that the fan doesn't need to watch this episode at all, because nothing felt like properly built. Especially this a rematch. You've seen a gauntlet match before. None of these matches felt like they were well thought out. Especially when the majority of them are perennial mid-carders. The New Day and Usos fought multiple times. You could have done better with the Madcap Moss and the Corbin to feud over when McIntyre to actually make something more excited. And stop and rehashing your street fight names with the holiday or setting that you're in. Like, welcome back to the Anglewood Street Fight Bash here tonight, John, in California. Like, shut up. Like, it gets incredibly hashed out. Yeah, Pat McAfee did a great job, but it really doesn't, like, source over, like, in the first half of the show, mad fans were quiet. Real quiet. And I was like, oh, it's a good match. And I was like, did the fans feel that way live in attendance? No, because they weren't interested. And I wasn't either. When you're in a party, and everybody's supposed to fit the same energy, same vibe, and everybody's goddamn quiet in the first couple minutes, your party sucks, and everybody's gonna leave. Why just get like a 1.7 and 1.6? Because it's the holiday season. You had nobody to draw over for your show. And just to coincide with a mid-card 6-man tag that anybody else could have poked on an episode. That's it for me. I hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas, got everything you wanted, and spent the day with the people that mean to you the most. Thanks for watching.